Good morning and welcome to the weekend. I'm meteorologist Kevin Smith at the National Weather Service in Pocatello, Idaho, with your Eastern Idaho planning briefing for Saturday, October 24th. So, taking a look over the next week or so here, first winter storm today, then cold conditions, then quiet as we proceed into the new week. Forecast coming at you in three parts here. So our winter storm that we've been talking about over the last several days is going to continue throughout the day today into parts of tonight. One thing in particular that we're watching with that is the potential for our very first, what we call Snake Plane Convergence Band event this afternoon. And I'll talk in just a moment about what that is, but basically a shot for some more organized rain and snow in portions of the Snake Plane as we go later into this afternoon and this evening. Very cold conditions expected behind this storm system. We're going to have a strong cold front crossing the region this afternoon and this evening. Temperatures plummeting tonight into the single digits and teens. Sunday and Monday, very cold conditions, especially during the morning hours both days. Then finally, quiet weather starting to build in. Dry conditions, just light winds out there, and a warming trend to those temperatures for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Looking at our gauges here over on the right, high confidence on the cold conditions moving into the area and the quiet weather beyond. But a lot of moving parts today, a lot of things that we're looking at with today's winter storm and some trends and changes to the forecast even over the past 24 hours here. So confidence a little bit lower into how some of those details are going to play out. Satellite view this morning, high pressure, once again, sitting out over the Pacific Ocean. Active storm track over the top of that down into our area, and you can see there are clouds and moisture here on the satellite view across the northern Rocky Mountain region. Some of that right across southern Idaho as that low pressure system moves through. This is really the only impactful weather feature that we're expecting in the forecast here, other than cold temperatures moving in from the north on the backside of it. Impact overview here over the next few days. You can see, as we just said, all of the impacts are front-loaded here. So today is the day. Windy, breezy to windy conditions across the region with that system moving through. And you can see the windiest conditions here in the Snake Plain and Magic Valley. Breezy elsewhere. Rain and snow showers for just about everyone. And then some of the higher elevation areas, predominantly snow, will be your precipitation type today. We're colored orange here for portions of the eastern and southeastern highlands down toward the Bear Lake area, the Wyoming border zone. That's where we're expecting the greatest snowfall accumulations out of today's system. Sunday and Monday, very cold conditions, as we mentioned. Maybe a few light lingering snow showers in portions of the eastern and southeastern highlands. Generally don't think it's going to be particularly impactful for you, but might see a little of that activity out there. And then quiet as we head into the rest of the week. So kicking off with today, high temperatures are actually going to occur this morning. So you see these values here getting up into the 40s for many areas, even some low 50s down at lower elevations of the Snake Plain and Eastern Magic Valley. Looking over at our monitor here, we are 49 degrees just after 4 a.m. here at Pocatello, so very close to that high temperature for the day. Remember, cold front moving in, so temperatures are actually going to start to cool and go downward as we go through the afternoon and evening hours today. Those wind gusts that we mentioned out there, we actually have a wind advisory in effect for portions of the Snake Plain, Eastern Magic Valley, and adjacent areas. You can see gusts getting up on the order, well, sustained winds, this is gusts on the graphic, but sustained winds out there in our main corridor here, 20 to 30 miles an hour. And then you can see here on the graphic, gusts getting up to 30 to 45 miles per hour, particularly the Snake Plain region, the Eastern Magic Valley, down toward Cassia County, some of the other valleys here along the southern part of the plain. Certainly breezy elsewhere too, though, and we're seeing that already this morning as that system moves into the area. Now, before we talk about storm totals, I'm going to pull another panel here into the briefing. I want to take a look at one of the many models we look at and kind of give you a visual and some timing on how precipitation is going to play out today. Again, this is one of many models, so it's not necessarily perfect, but if you look at it in a very holistic, kind of ballparky sense, it does give us kind of the trends that we're expecting. So kicking off at 4 a.m., we'll advance to 5 a.m. this morning. You can see some rain and snow shower activity, hit and miss over the Central Mountain region. A little bit steadier activity starting to fill in toward daybreak here from West Yellowstone and Island Park down toward Driggs and into the Caribou Highlands. And you can see a lot of it is snow at the higher elevations, but warm enough for rain as you head down. By 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., you can see we start to see a little bit of isolated to scattered shower activity elsewhere across the region, not just the Central Mountains, but down into the Snake Plain as well. You can see a lot of that rain here at the lower elevations. Still the steadiest snow as we head into the early to mid-morning hours. Up here across the Upper Snake, down to the Teton Valley, the Big Hole Mountains, and the Caribou Highlands. Again, this zone is where we're expecting the most snow. I will say a lot of you are going to wake up this morning not seeing much going on. We have a very dry air mass at the surface this morning, and what we need the atmosphere to do is start precipitating into that air mass and moisten things up before all of this is going to reach the ground. So while some of you may not be seeing precipitation falling for a few hours this morning, again, things will gradually moisten, and certainly we'll see the chance for hit and miss rain and snow showers everywhere today as the system moves through. And again, steadiest off to the east here. So we go into 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. System generally translating southeast. Still some steady snow here in the eastern highlands. Some rain showers down through the Snake Plain into the eastern Magic Valley and the southern highlands as well. By noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Interesting feature developing here. So when you hear us refer to what we call a Snake Plain convergence zone or convergence band of precipitation, what we're seeing here is winds coming in from the west up the eastern Magic Valley into the Snake Plain, but cold winds coming out of the north, draining out of the valleys of the Central Mountains and coming over the divide down the Snake Plain here from the north. And as those winds crash into each other here in the Snake Plain, that causes rising motion in the atmosphere and development of rain or snow. So that's exactly what the model is indicating here. As early as about 2 o'clock from Arco to Idaho Falls. By 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, the model's bringing that activity down toward the Blackfoot area. Probably starting as rain, but maybe some snow mixing in as well. And then by 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, starting to head down toward the Pocatello area. And you can see some of that by 7 o'clock, changing over to more predominantly snow as that colder air behind the cold front moves into the area. So I do think there will be another period of a little more organized activity in this corridor, including Idaho Falls and Pocatello, late this afternoon into early this evening. Generally expecting a dusting to maybe 1 inch of snow out of that. I don't think it's going to be terribly impactful, but with the cooling temperatures, maybe some freezing on the roadways, a little bit of snow out there, still do be mindful of some slick spots out on the roadways. With all of that said, storm total snowfall through tonight. Forecast is trended down across the Central Mountains, generally expecting a dusting to maybe 1 inch or 2, some higher amounts as you go up in elevation. Island Park, about 3 to 4 inches, so that's come down a little bit. Similar forecast to what we've been showing you, however, for the Big Hole Mountains, the Teton Valley into the Caribou Highlands. Driggs, probably a little lower than this right down at valley floors, but then accumulations trending upward as you go into the mountains and places like Pine Creek Pass. And then again, a dusting to maybe as much as 1 inch in the Snake Plain corridor here from near Idaho Falls down toward Pocatello with that afternoon activity. So we're still kind of monitoring for some potential flash freeze issues too. We talked about that strong cold front moving in. We've got that Snake Plain convergence activity coming through. If we do have a little bit of snow or even just wetness on the roadways as those temperatures crash this afternoon and this evening, we may see some icing. So this is kind of one of those sneaky winter hazards. We do encourage everyone to be very mindful of this. Reduce speeds. Don't use your cruise control. Remember your winter driving rules if you encounter falling precipitation or the roads start to seem icy in your area later today. Low temperatures, here comes the cold. So starting off Sunday morning, these are low temperatures Sunday morning here on the left-hand panel, plummeting into the single digits and teens, even some below zero readings in a few spots. Wind chills will be running even a little colder than this. And then over here on the right, by Sunday afternoon, temperatures only recovering into the 20s. Across southeast Idaho, maybe making a run at freezing down here in the eastern Magic Valley, places like Burley and Minidoka as well. Monday morning, really good radiational cooling conditions. It's going to be clear with not a lot of cloud cover. We're going to have really light winds, so perfect conditions for strong cooling. You can see low temperatures here on the left-hand panel, even colder than what we're expecting Sunday morning. -5 for Island Park and Stanley, and those locations tend to overperform a little bit and get even colder. And then single digits to very low teens for the rest of the region. Temperatures generally recovering into the 30s during the afternoon on Monday. Remember, this is our first blast of real winter cold across southeast Idaho, so we do want to remind you of some safety tips, particularly for children. Make sure we're bundling up when we go outside on Sunday and Monday, even into Tuesday morning. Dress in layers, cover that exposed skin. Remember those cold temperatures and the impact they can have on the human body. Also, don't forget about pets during the cold weather. Make sure they have a warm and dry place with plenty of food and water, particularly over the next few days. High temperatures Tuesday, Wednesday. Again, dry conditions, light winds, and moderating with these temperature values getting up into the 40s generally for Tuesday. And then over here on the right, gaining a little more ground by Wednesday, getting up into the upper 40s to low 50s across southeast Idaho. So there's your 3-part forecast over the next several days. And we hope you stay safe for your weekend here across the region. If you have any questions, comments, concerns for us, please feel free to reach out and have a great Saturday.